Area of a rectangle we've talked about before is length times the width, where this is the length and this is the width. So let's find the area of this example. We have that the length is 9 and the width is 4. So if I want to find the area of that rectangle, I'm doing, again, length times the width or 9 times 4. Without using your calculator, what is 9 times 4? So it is 36 centimeters squared. Surface area is squared because it's two-dimensional. Oh, sorry, this isn't surface area. Area is squared. It's two-dimensional. But same thing goes for surface area. So we've been doing that a lot this year. Area of a triangle, because two triangles make a rectangle. You're going to do, so there's a couple ways to think about this. You could do length times width divided by 2. Or sometimes we call it the base and the height. It really doesn't matter. Base times height divided by 2. Whichever you prefer, it doesn't matter. The reason it's divided by 2 is because if you take two triangles and you put them together, you get a rectangle or a quadrilateral, whatever. Get the point. So let's label that on our diagram. I'm going to use base and height. So this would be the base, and this is the height. So height goes from the top down to the bottom, like so. So personally, I like this one better. You could also write the area of a rectangle as base times height, if you want. Great. Find the area of this triangle. I'm going to use base times height divided by 2. So Jack, what should I write? What's my base?
4.
What's my height?
6.
Times 6 divided by 2.
5.
4 times 6 is 24. So now it's 24 divided by 2, which is 12. Make sure you divide by 2. We did forget our units, so we need to write centimeters squared. So the surface area, here's my kind of definition, the total area of the outside of the three-dimensional object. You're going to think to yourself, if this helps you, how much wrapping paper would it take to cover the outside of this object? And make sure you use units squared, because it's an area. Here's how we're going to do this. Today, I would like you to use, so you picked up a net on your way in. You have a net of a square pyramid and a net of a rectangular pyramid. You're going to label all the dimensions you know on the net, on the two-dimensional breakdown of the shape that you have in your sheet protector. And then you're going to find the area of each piece and just add it all together. So I'm going to say find the area of each shape and add it all together. Because we want the entire shape, we want the entire area around the outside. So today we're only going to do one example of a rectangular pyramid. So the length and width of the rectangle are going to be different. If it was a square and I was only given one, like if I was only given the length, how do I know the width if it was a square?
Same thing.
Yeah, squares have the same length and width. And so if I only give you one dimension, but I say it's a square pyramid, you should know that the other side is also the same. So that's what we're going to focus on today, actually. So we're going to do this example. Use the net below to help you find the surface area of this pyramid. You can go back and forth between your sheet protector and this. You'll notice that this diagram is exactly the same. I want you to have an example of this on your notes so you understand how to use this to help you, okay? Because it can be super helpful and you can show all of your work on there. Here we go. Use a net. If you look at this right now, we have, it looks like we have the dimensions, all the dimensions we need. Let's start with the rectangle, which you see at the bottom of this shape. Tell your partner, what's the length and width of the rectangle? Olivia, what are the dimensions of the rectangle? Yes, so we are going to go and label that on this diagram. 12 goes here, and we're going to put 8 there. Now, if we only have 2 of them labeled right now, but you guys know that opposite sides are the same on rectangles. And so you can put an 8 over here and a 12 over here. We're looking at the base of the pyramid right now. So you should be labeling that on your net right now. That's all I want you to do. Please don't calculate yet. Going back to our picture of our pyramid, we're making this 2-dimensional so we can actually find the surface area. I want an eraser. There it is. Let's start with the triangle that has a base of 12. This one. The triangle that has a base of 12, would you please tell your partner what's the height of that triangle? Desavion, what's the height of the triangle that has a base of 12? Couldn't find it? 10. Okay, I couldn't tell what you said. 10 centimeters, right? So on both of these triangles that have a base of 12, I'm going to put that the height is 10. That's what that dotted line means from the top to the bottom of the triangle. Okay, and then the last triangle we need. So going back to our picture, let's erase what we have. Woo. I want this one. So now I want the triangle with a base of 8. Joanne, what's my height on the triangle with a base of 8?
12.
Yes. So where it says your triangles that have a base of 8, you need to go and label that the heights are 12 on your net. So you've got the rectangle, you've got 2 blue triangles, and you have 2 red triangles. We need to find all the areas and add them up. You'll notice that 2 of the triangles are the same. There's 2 pairs of triangles. And so you only need to figure out what one is, because then you know the other. So let's go ahead and start with this red triangle at the top. So zooming in. This triangle has a, well, first off, area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. William Landreth, could you give me my base and my height for the red triangle, please?
Base is 12 and height is 10.
Yep, so 12 times 10, all that divided by 2. So the first thing we should do is multiply the base and height. Guys, what's 12 times 10? 120. So it's 120 divided by 2, which is 60. This is in meters, so meters squared. That is for, maybe draw an arrow, this triangle right here. So if I had written smaller, I would probably actually go label that inside of the triangle. Riley, if that triangle is 60, what other triangle is 60? Yeah, this guy has the same dimensions, and so don't need to calculate it again because we already did that. So if the other red one is 60, so is this. Okay, 2 areas done. 3 more to go. Let's do the blue triangle. Zachary, help me out. What are my dimensions of the blue triangle? My base and my height.
12 and 10.
Okay, which one's my base?
12.
This is tricky. It's actually 8 because that dotted line that goes through the shape, that's my height. So it's kind of funny. You have to turn your head on this and almost look at it sideways. So I see why you said 12. It's 8 times 12, base times height, divided by 2. Because I took math facts in elementary school, I know that 8 times 12 is 96 because 8 times 10 is 80 and 8 times 2 is 16. Add them up, you get 96. So 96 divided by 2 is indeed 48, we're still in meters, squared. So blue triangle is 48 meters squared. Isabella, what other triangle is 48 meters squared? Yeah, this one. The other blue one. The one right across from it, because it has the exact same dimensions. Don't bother calculating it again. It'd be a waste of time. You already did it. So 4 areas done. Only have calculated 2 things. And then, Seamus, can you remind us how to calculate the area of a rectangle? So my width, it looks like I could call that 10 or 8. 10. I don't know where I'm getting that. 8, and my length is 12. So regardless, rectangles, you just multiply your 2 dimensions. So let's draw like an arrow here so we understand. You can do length times width, which is 12 times 8, which we just did. Still 96. Meters squared. Woo! So you have the rectangle, 2 red triangles, 2 blue triangles. You need to add them all up because I'm asking the total area of the outside of the shape. 96 plus 60. Instead of writing 60 2 times, what could I do? Yeah, just multiply by 2. Plus the other area is 48, and there's 2 of them, so I'm going to multiply by 2. You could write this all out. It's totally fine. 96 plus 60 plus 60 plus 48 plus 48 will get you the exact same thing. You should type that in your calculator. So I'm going to say it again because I forgot to record it. That the surface area is 312 meters squared when you add it all up.